Alright, this is Chapter 9, Lesson 4, Changes in Dimension. So, we're going to be talking about changing dimensions and their effect on the perimeter as well as their effect on the area. So, if your dimensions of a polygon are multiplied by x, so x being any number that you want it to be, then the perimeter of a polygon changes by a factor of that value. So, if you multiplied it by 2, then it changes by a factor of 2. Okay? The dimensions of figure A are multiplied by 2 to produce the dimensions of figure B. So we can see that we have figure A has 3, 2, 3, and figure B has 6, 4, 6. 3 times 2 gave me 6, 2 times 2 gave me 4, and 3 times 2 gave me 6. Okay? Perimeter of figure A times 2 equals the perimeter of figure B. So if I were to add all these together and then multiply that perimeter times 2, I would get the perimeter of figure B. So 8 times 2, because 3 plus 2 is 5, plus 3 is 8, that gives me 8, will give me a perimeter of 16. So we can notice that all the dimensions of the figure must change using the same factor. So you can't have 3 be multiplied by 2 and then 2 be multiplied by 3. It won't actually give you the same dimension. They won't be similar figures. Alright, so let's look at an example. The first example I have says, suppose the side lengths of the parallelogram, so here's my parallelogram, at the right are tripled. So tripled means I multiply it by 3. What effect would this have on the perimeter? Justify your answer. So if I multiply each of these by 3, 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 3 is 12. The dimensions are 3 times greater, so then my original perimeter is 2 times 4, right? 2 times 4 plus 2 times 3. That's just the formula for perimeter for a parallelogram, okay? Equals 14. My new perimeter, 2 times 12 plus 2 times 9 equals 42. Comparing perimeters, 42 divided by 14 is 3. We said it was tripled, so that's how we know that it is a factor of 3. So the perimeter is 3 times the perimeter of the original figure. You can also use changing dimensions and its effect on area. So like perimeter, when you change the dimensions, it also affects the area. So if the dimensions of a polygon are multiplied by x, then the area of the polygon changes by x times x, or x squared. Okay? The dimensions of figure A are each multiplied by 2 to produce the dimensions of figure B. So 4 times 2 gave me 8, 5 times 2 gives me 10. Now if I were to find the area of figure A, I would get 20, and the area of figure B, I would get 80. So it would be 2 squared, or 2 times 4, or 2 times 2, which is 4. So I'm multiplying my area, 20 times 4 would give me the 80. Okay? So area of figure A times 2 squared equals the area of figure B, so 20 times 4 equals 80. Notice that all the dimensions of the figure must change using the same factor. So again, same thing. Okay, the side lengths of the triangle at the right are multiplied by 5. So I have 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters. What effect would this have on the area? Justify your answer. So it's multiplied by 5, so it's going to have a dimension of 5 squared, which is 25. 5 times 5 is 25. So the dimensions are 5 times greater, so 1 times 5 gives me 5, 2 times 5 gives me 10. So the area of a triangle is 1/2 the base times the height. So I have 1/2 times 2 times 1 is 1 centimeter squared. My new area is 1/2 times 10 times 5, which is 25 centimeters squared. 25 centimeters divided by 1 centimeter is 25, or 5 squared. Okay, so the area is 5 squared, or 25 times the area of the original figure. Alright, there are a couple of try it out problems below. I want you to go ahead, pause the video, try them out, and when you're done, we'll go over the answers together. Alright, now that you've had a chance to try out the try it problems, let's go over the answers together. So, for the first one, letter A, I have suppose the side lengths of the trapezoid at the right are multiplied by 4. What effect would this have on the perimeter? Justify your answer. Okay, so we already said that when we have a perimeter, we're multiplying it by whatever we want it to be multiplied by. So it's multiplied by 4, so that's my change in dimension. So I have to figure out my original perimeter. So 14 plus 13 plus 14 plus 24. When I add all those together, 13 plus 14 gives me 27, plus 14 gives me 41, plus 24 gives me 65. So my original perimeter is 65 centimeters, and I'm multiplying that times 4. So then I do 65 times 4. 5 times 4 is 20. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 2 is 26, so 260 centimeters. So the perimeter is 4 times the original. Okay, for letter B, a rectangle measures 3 feet by 2 feet. Suppose the side lengths are multiplied by 3. What effect would this have on the area? Justify your answer. So we're doing area. Remember we said area was squared whatever I was multiplying it by. So rectangle measures 3 by 2, so 3 times 2 is 6. And then the new area, so this is feet squared, the new area I'm multiplying 6 times 3 squared, which is really saying 6 times 3 squared, 3 times 3 is 9. So 6 times 9, which is 54 feet squared. So the area is 3 squared, or 9 feet, times the original. Okay, for letter C, I have, suppose a triangle has sides of 4 centimeters, 8 centimeters, and 9 centimeters. Suppose the lengths are multiplied by 1/2. So with dimensions, you can do bigger or smaller, completely dependent on what they're asking for. What effect would this have on the perimeter? Justify your answer. So again, we're doing perimeter, and it's a triangle, so there's 3 sides. So I have 4 plus 8 plus 9. Well, 4 plus 8 is 12, and then plus 9 is 21, so that's 21 centimeters, and then I'm multiplying this times 1/2, so 21 times 1/2. So half of 21 is 10.5, so 10.5 centimeters. So the perimeter is 1/2 times, and it's technically smaller because it's a half, 1/2 times smaller than the original. For D, a trapezoid has the following measurements. A base 1 is 16 centimeters, base 2 is 5 centimeters, the height is 9 centimeters. Suppose that the lengths are multiplied by 5. What effect would this have on the area? So here's my trapezoid. So base 1 is 16, base 2 is 5, and the height is 9. And we know the area of a trapezoid is 1/2. Alright, so we know the area of a trapezoid is 1/2 the height, base 1 plus base 2, where that's in parentheses. So to find the original height, let's substitute all this in. So my height's 9, my base is 16 plus 5. Alright, so 16 plus 5. So when I do that, 16 plus 5 is 21. So 21 times 9, 189, and then I'm going to divide that by 2. That's 94.5. So my original area is 94.5. Okay. Now I'm multiplying that length, that area by 5, so it's 5 squared, which is 25. So A A equals 94.5 times 5 squared, 94.5 times 25. Okay, 5 times 5 is 25. 22, 45 is 47, 10, 9, 18, 7 and 9 is 16, 12, 13, and 1 decimal point. So my new area is 2,362.5. And so the area is 5 squared, or 25 times the original. And that is the end of Chapter 9, Lesson 4.